Okay, I'm actually awake now, and I just wanted to add a couple things really quick. So, first off, I referred to Tatooine as Nibiru, which isn't, they're not different, but as far as Star Wars is concerned, I'm aware that it's Tatooine. I just was asleep when I made my last video. And also, that I haven't watched the videos. I don't usually watch videos after I create them. I just post them. But I realized that maybe I might have been talking about things in like a sort of other dimensional way and not really making it as tangible as it could be. So when I'm talking about this exoskeleton or like making this suit in order to be able to control your sphere of reference, I mean, I feel like it's self-explanatory, but I'm generally referring to becoming aware of your subconscious self, the way that it controls your conscious self, and being able then to bring it into, because like your subconscious, we tend, because it's our subconscious, because it's not our consciousness tends to rely on our subconscious in order to validate reality. But our subconscious is in of itself still its construct from within our personal perspective. And our identities tend to hinge upon that personal perspective. So we tend to only validate what it is that we receive and unto ourselves. When in actuality and in self-actualization, your subconscious will be recognized and received as such, and thus only like I was saying, like, you know, like how Earth is like an insignificant, it's not, but like it's not at all insignificant, but how it seems insignificant to the grander scheme of things. That's kind of how the subconscious is, and it's what dictates all of our reality. So when you become, the process of becoming self-actualized is to be able to become aware enough of yourself that not only are you aware of yourself, of your core, of the self in comparison to all other things, but it's also becoming aware of that self's place within things, and there's a greater, I call it the soul or the spirit. I mean, it's called a lot of things and people refer to it a lot of ways. And I think that soul or spirit is like the best way that we have scientifically, and we don't measure those things scientifically, but it's, you know, or like they'll call it like the astral body, which is why I can access these things in my dreams, like stuff like that. But it's, to me, it's the most scientifically accurate way. We just don't have that, and this is part of the process, is to form this technology in order to be able to access these things or measure these things or prove these things, even just unto ourselves. But is that it's the higher self, and the higher self is not the subconscious, is not the ego, is not the self, and is not the concept of any of those things. It's beyond that. It is the interconnectedness that we have. It's God. It's the interconnectedness that we have with all life forms, with all living things, with all chemistry, with all not anatomy, with all of the atoms in the universe. Like I said, you know, our DNA, like we're encoded, we are created of very specific atoms and chemicals, and those things can be traced throughout the universe, and we can trace ourselves back to those things. It is not those things in of themselves and our connection to those things in of themselves that is God, but the awareness thereof. There's an energy that can't be measured. And by can't be measured, I don't just mean like, that's what's so crazy about science, because I don't just mean like dark energy or, you know, dark matter in that way, where like quantum mechanics in theory, was able to open us up to a concept of there being an immeasurable energetic sort of force that kind of conceives the entire universe. It is that, but it's even deeper than that. Because, like I said, this goes back like so much further than we've ever gone thus far. Well, I say that, but then again, like this movie Stargate was made in 1994, so it's old in comparison to things nowadays. Media wise. So these aren't new concepts. There's so much I could add to this. While going through my art yesterday, I also saw this little like thing that I had written. I kind of remember writing it. I kind of remember like where I was going with it. It was supposed to be a concept of the alternate reality, or like, how in the Matrix, the alternate reality is actually the real reality. It's like that, where I, at least enough myself, am actually a child that was kidnapped from their family and put on in an MK Ultra program, put on LSD as a child in order to have my dreams. How did I put it? In order for them to like have access to my dreams and my consciousness, and have been used essentially as an agent for one of the 7 CIAs in order to, or multiple parts of the agencies, in order to access other people's Akashic records in order to gain access of control over their consciousness prior to them being able to have that access. And that I had a twin that they used us both. But the reason that they kidnapped us and used us both was because our twinness gave us like this connection to each other that no one else, that we just have innately, that no one else has. And they wanted to separate that. They wanted to find that power, access it for themselves at our own expense. And in that process, and while I'm on the LSD as a child, they convinced me that my twin is actually the villain of my story. Like in all of these concepts, he keeps coming up in my consciousness because we're so interconnected. But in those dreams and visions, he's always like portrayed as the villain when that's a projection. They are already using this technology to project these concepts in order to gain deeper access, right? And that there is the actual villain has set himself up to be my future lover, the divine partner that I've always been looking for. And like in these dreams, like I'm always like seeking out that person. But what I'm actually seeking out is the internal part of myself that's fully connected to my twin, that wants to be reconnected with my brother. And it's just become twisted to think that what it is a lover that I'm looking for. That was weird. It was a weird thing to find that I had written, but in light of everything that I'm talking about right now, it obviously makes a lot of sense. And I'm talking about the movie Stargate. The whole reason I haven't watched this movie, I had no idea what it was about. I've never seen it. It's for free on YouTube. And the whole reason I decided to watch it is because recently, while watching a documentary about what's that called? That island in Montauk. In New York, or New England, or wherever it is. I think it's New York. But there was MK Ultra supposedly that went on there, and like their MK Ultra program was called Stargate. And so it's interesting to me how all of these things tend to line up, because they always do. I mean, I have the Truman delusion. I literally like view my life as if it's a movie. I feel like everything is already pre-scripted and I'm just trying to figure it out, more or less. It's generally how I go about my life. I try to just like I said, even in the duality and dichotomy of things, I try to just like actively receive my experience and enjoy it and not worry about these things. But at the same time, there's always like this weird paranoia going on that I'm actually having my consciousness incepted, and that the movie Inception too, like it ties right into it. This stuff is really deep and really crazy, but also very real. It's not. It is. It's both. Dude, shit is crazy. I thought that I was going to try to make more sense of things, and I think I've just complicated it more. But at least I'm awake now, and just making videos in my sleep. I say I'm awake, but that was another thing. That song, "I Still Feel Alive," that song is actually just the same thing as the song that I woke up singing 2 days ago, which was "Bowl of Oranges" by Bright Eyes. Only they're from different perspectives. The "I Still Feel Alive" is kind of coming from like the negative, where it's like, oh, I realize even after all of this greatness that I'm still mortal, or that I'm still in the third dimension. I can still experience the third dimension, and it feels extremely limited. Where in "Bowl of Oranges," it simplifies that to say that in that mortality is the beauty of being able to step back and see things like a picture and like a movie, and being able to just appreciate it and enjoy it. Okay, so I guess I'm on a roll today. I don't know. This is probably why I'm single. It isn't. There's a lot of people that want to be with me, and I don't get it because I'm obviously insane. I'm not. I'm wild. I'm wild. I don't know where my life is going. I do, actually. And weird things are weird. Things are real weird. I was told to look out, that I'm in danger of death or destruction from a man. And I asked multiple times, am I in danger? Is the man in danger? And it was specifically told me that I am in danger of this man who is a friend from the north, who is a sad man, who came from a different sun. And what's the other message? Well, essentially that I'm supposed to be questioning if I should be making these videos and posting these things. And I should. There's no reason for me not to. I'm not afraid of my life being in danger. If it is, so be it. But these things need to get out, and they will be out, and they already are out. And I'm literally just expressing what is already a reality. So I don't see the threat in it. I feel like anybody that's threatened by that is likely just not fully conscious of themselves. And it reminded me of the dream that I had, where the architect was like, no, like, this is my job. That's what it was, that I used him for his loyalty to his job. And that's why I was in danger, because he was mad at me and going to be seeking vengeance on me for having used him for his loyalty, or pretty much made a fool of him based on his job. But that is just a matter of perspective. That's not what I'm doing. I'm sorry if I reveal you as the villain in my story. But if that's what you are, it's not my fault. Like, I'm just a kid on LSD. Which I've never been on LSD, by the way. And if I was, it was probably when I was MK Ultra'd when I was a child. So I'd like to just throw that out there, that this is all, I haven't even smoked pot in months. This is pure sober me, just doing what I do, which is have really, really crazy dreams and then overanalyze them all day, because I am extremely analytical, am a bit of an overthinker, and I uh, introverted and isolated enough that I have the time to sit and think about these things, and very easily entertained. So I don't have a problem just getting into my own head and then thinking about these things and finding myself highly entertained throughout the day thinking about these things. I have other stuff I need to accomplish in my life. It's all tied together. I'm going to be going on another adventure soon enough. Don't know how I'm going to go about it yet. Don't know exactly what's going on. I'm anticipating it though, and preparing for it. And we'll see what happens. Okay, this video has actually been far weirder than I expected. Sorry.